All right.
Great day.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Trainer Talk. My name is Pete, along with Isla Russell and Michael Glaze. We work for the Personnel Board of Jefferson County in the Training and Organizational Development Department. And it's our goal just to have a bull session, for lack of a better words. We do these twice a year. Sorry, twice a month. Feels like twice a month. The topic is about vacation and the value of vacation time. And the reason why it's so important, I think, is because organizational culture has shifted pre-pandemic to post-pandemic. People were collecting it, and then people didn't use it over COVID times, perhaps, and now they've got too much. And do you save it? Do you use it? Am I And then what do organizations do now that they're not staffed properly? Some of them, to allow people to. There's just so many variables right now around vacation, and so we'll start with the most important question of all. Isla, and I will, of course, start with you. Is what does vacation look like for you? Where do you like to go? What do you like to do when you decompress from work?
I like the beach. I like any place with gorgeous water. That's my thing. I love some gorgeous water. And just being able to decompress and get away. Vacation, I've had to teach myself that vacation means disconnecting from work. That means not checking emails, not calling in to see what's going on. So that's my big challenge, is just learning how to truly disconnect from work when I go on vacation.
How long do you take? What's your average?
I think it varies, but I try to do at least a full week at some point during the year.
Okay. Because I just know that some people like, small, like a Friday and a Monday, and they package it. And some people are like, if I don't get a full week, I don't feel like I've truly disconnected. So Michael, how about you, buddy? Where do you like to go? What's your optimum vacation time?
Yeah, I try to do two. So I try to take a full week in the summer, and we go to the beach in the summertime. And then I try to pack in 2 long weekends at some other time of the year. And in the fall, we're going to try to do a mountain vacation. So we do anniversary trips, and we're kind of crazy. We do several anniversary trips. It may be first date anniversary, it may be wedding anniversary, but we're going to do at least a summer and a fall vacation. The fall tends to be a long weekend, but get away. Unlike Isla, I can't disconnect immediately. So it usually takes me the first day and a half to truly disconnect, unfortunately, for my family. And then that last day of vacation, I really have to force myself to stay on vacation until I get back. So
because you're always thinking about what's going to be there when you get. So even if I'm home on a Sunday and I took a full week off, I'm thinking about work. So is that really even vacation? Now let's talk about this. And if you're watching us live, we would love to get your feedback on this, because we work in local government, and so we produce these trainer talks a lot of times thinking in the lens of local government. And we have a lot of people I know who watch, not just from the merit system here in Jefferson County, but from other government agencies across the United States. But what does your package look like? What do you currently have? Because my wife works for a private hospital system, and they combine their PTO, they combine sick and vacation. It all kind of goes together. And is there value in that versus value of separating them out? You've got so much sick and so much vacation. And Isla, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think right now we're up to, and this is the benefit again of local government. Some people have pros and cons to any type of work, but I think we get 14. In fact, I know we get 14 holidays. So that's going to be Christmas, New Year's, all of the state, federal holidays. We just added Juneteenth this year, so that's going to be in there, plus 2 personal holidays, 2 variable days. So that gives you 16, and then you also start with 2 weeks, another 10 days. After you get through your probationary period. So off the bat, am I right on you can start somewhere around 26 days out of the office per year?
I think it's like 24 to 26. It varies depending on how Christmas falls.
Right.
So that kind of changes it a little bit, but yeah, that's about right.
Do you know anybody who says, well, actually, you only get a bank of 25 days and they're for sick or vacation, use them how you want? Because I think I've heard that at different organizations. Did that happen where you worked? Like Michael used to work at Home Depot and Lowe's. Was yours separate, or was yours always the same?
Mine was separate, but my wife's is all together. So it's very frustrating for me because if she takes, actually her holiday vacation and sick time are all together. So when she takes Thanksgiving, when she takes Christmas, if she gets sick, or if we take vacation, it all comes out of the same pool. And sometimes that's frustrating for me to do that. Because we do have a great benefit here, and it's all separated. I know how to take it. It's a great benefit.
Yeah, and we get a lot of sick hours as well. All right, so let's get to the issue, y'all. That was fun to have just sort of that small talk. But as people are kind of starting to join us, there was a study by Glassdoor. This was done just recently, so it hasn't been like 2 or 3 years old, that found that the average U.S. employee takes only 54% of their available time off. 23% use all their vacation time, but 9% don't use any at all. Does that sound right to us? Does that surprise anybody, Isla?
It doesn't surprise me, and I'm going to speak for myself, because we have, use it or lose it hours. And I always find myself at the end of the year having hours that I have to use or lose. So if I worked for an organization that didn't have that, I probably would be one of the 54% or the 23% of the people who don't use all of their time. I take time, but I always find myself at the end of the year in a pickle.
Such a great problem to have. Michael, the total number of unused vacation days, according to the study from December of last year, was 768 million unused vacation days, which is a 10% increase from the prior year. Now, some of that is probably attributed to COVID and people were staying home, but that's also a scary thought that people have vacation and aren't using it.
Yeah, I think it's very scary. And, sometimes I think companies are banking on that so they can cash that money in. They didn't have to use it, unfortunately. Yeah. But I think that we may be getting into this in just a few minutes. I think remote is going to hurt that because we feel like even though we're working, we have a little more free time. So we don't need that vacation. Actually, I know we're going to get into it a little bit, but
no, I mean, let's go and talk about that now then. What is the mental state? Because again, we're all working when we're remote. And if you are, some of you who are watching, if you work in public safety, police, fire, we know, frontline, healthcare, you really don't have that option. So many organizations these days are doing a hybrid model or a 1 or 2 days remote. Isla, is there a mental thing that even though you're working remote, because you're at home, it feels, I don't know tell me what Michael's saying, Isla.
I feel like I work harder at home because I don't want to even it be perceived that I'm not working.
Yeah.
And when I'm at work, I socialize more. I take a longer break here and there. I may not even take a break when I'm at home.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I agree with the logic of just because I'm remote that I'm not working as hard, because I think more people probably would say they work harder at home because there's no boundaries. I probably start earlier and I finish later.
Yeah. There is something mental though, Michael. I do agree. I agree with Isla, but I also agree with you. I think both can speak. There is something about if you ever take a mental health day or a vacation day just to chill at home because you haven't been in your house and your couch for a while, I can see that where you're like, I don't need that as much because being at home allows me to work hard, but it takes some of the mental stress or drama of being in the office. So, there's something there. But nothing like just getting out of the office and kind of, going somewhere else. All right. So we all know how understaffed. And by the way, if you're watching us live on Facebook or LinkedIn, put something in the comments if you want. We'll be sure to mention your comments, share your thoughts, and get your take on what's happening in your organization. Understaffing is happening everywhere. You all know, just go up and down your place of work or your city, and you'll see now hiring. Do employers have the right to tell employees where, when, and if they can't take vacation days? Not from a legal perspective. We're not coming in as employment law experts. Right. I'm just saying, Isla, what's your thoughts about having to manage the business, but also manage employee morale?
I think an employer has that right. If I worked in retail and I would have blackout days, you can't be off. Everybody can't be off for Black Friday.
Yeah.
And we've seen how that shifted through the pandemic, how everybody used to be open at midnight and employers have had to change their stance on that, partly because of staffing. But I think an employer does have the right, depending on what's going on in your environment, in your business, to say, hey, everybody can't be off on this day.
Yeah.
Or anybody can be off on this day.
Yeah. Michael, you agree?
I do agree. I worked hospitality for quite a while, and we had several blackout dates throughout the year. Depending on what's happening in the city at the time, there were times that we had all hands on deck, and we didn't allow anyone to take off during those times because we knew that we were going to be 100+ occupancy during that time. So we just required everyone to be in. So I believe that we do have the right to have dates that everybody needs to be on hand.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. How can we get creative with this? Because I know we have people watching and who are thinking, okay, this is great, y'all. I don't have enough people, but you're saying let them take the vacation, but I can block them out here. What are some, and again, I kind of asked the audience here too, what are some creative things we can do? I mean, I've got 6 open positions, but I got 7 people that want to take vacation right now, and I've already blocked them off here, but they're taking it there. So now whether cash registers aren't there or people aren't at the front desk, anything creative that organizations can think about to staff better?
Well, one of the things you can do during that time is, the low periods, just like the high periods in your organization, the low periods. Typically, you say only one person can take off at a time, and we make sure that we don't have multiple people on a specific weekend or at a time. Be smart. And there are certain events that are happening. Plan ahead, look forward, ask if there are people that are interested in these events, and be careful, but plan for those times and allow multiple people to take off. Make sure you have the coverage, but plan ahead. Let people take off at those special times, and that's something they can look forward to. And let them know that's kind of a payback because you worked here. That's a payback. And you can plan that. They give them something to look forward to. Give them an apple.
Okay,
give them something to reach for.
I love Michael saying have better pre-thought process, scheduling, all that. Any type of cross training that can help, or cross scheduling, or would that work?
Where I wanted to go with that, with this question, was I think all organizations are just going to have to take a major step back in how they not only staff the people that they have, but also in attracting new talent. There's so many options out there because so many companies are understaffed and are hiring that I think all organizations in all segments of business are going to have to figure out ways to retain. And part of that retention, I think, is training. It's a great way to learn a new skill, but also not being so rigid in if you don't show up, you're fired. Those kind of practices that we've seen before, because people just aren't going to tolerate it like they did pre-pandemic because there's so many other options out there. So creativity in your workplace, I think all organizations need to take a step back and see where they can be more flexible in some of their policies around vacation and taking other time off.
And for those of you who aren't familiar with Birmingham, Alabama, which is where we broadcast from, we're about to have the World Games, which is like the Olympics Junior, Olympics 2.0 here in Birmingham over 10 days. I mean, 300,000 people, different countries coming over for the World Games. You know that I'm sure the police chief and fire chief are probably saying, no one gets off, you are blocked out of vacation time. But so according to Michael, the planning ahead is there. But according to you, Isla, they also have to start thinking about, well, how else are we going to recruit and retain people, for future events based on vacation or flex work life or stuff like that, which takes us into this, Isla. Let me ask you this. Workcations or Bleisure, and these are words I just now found out about. So here's what this is. I read an article from the BBC that says, let's stop trying to not blend work and personal life. It's all blended now. So if you want to go 2 weeks to the beach, but take your laptop with you, you do some work and some leisure, and you're not taking full vacation time because you are working, but you get to go. What do you all think about the idea of when you go on vacation to take work with you and have it count as work? Is this the way of the future, or is this something that won't work in America? What are your thoughts, Alex?
I think so many of us take work with us anyway when we go on vacation.
So point.
Why not try to be able to have that time with your family, see a new place, have new experiences, but not feel that stress on yourself that I'm just falling so far behind. I think that's part of why people don't take their vacation, is because when I come back, I have 150 emails per day that I've been out to go through. So now, I've been off a week, but I come back and I'm now stressed again because I feel behind. So if I can kind of manage that while I'm on vacation and having that experience with my family, why not? I'm all for it. Sign me up.
Michael, would you be interested in something? I mean, did you think that would work in certain cultures, organizational cultures, that is?
Yeah, I think it'll work in a lot of organizational cultures. I'm not a big fan, but I'm going to talk on both sides of the page. I look at my emails. I check my emails. I don't want to have any projects due during my vacation. I mean, I don't want to have to work while I'm on my vacation, but I also don't want to come back to 550 emails and burn a whole day and a half going through those and sorting and all that. So I check my emails all the time, but I don't want to have something due. I mean, I don't want to be responsible for that. So I kind of do that before the kids get up or before anybody gets up, actually, because I'm going to be the first one up. So I just scroll through. When everybody gets up, then I'm on vacation again. So I don't want to have to take a break during the day and, okay, you guys go do whatever we do on vacation and let me hang back and check my email.
So is this going to be a separate category? Like, will I still get vacation days where I'm expected to do nothing? The company will pay me to take Bleisure or Workcations, but I'm still out, but I'm still working. Or do you will those be two separate categories, or will it be, hey, I don't know.
I mean, I think there's value in totally disconnecting. I think there is a lot of value in that. But at the same time, like Michael's even saying, I'm still doing some work on my normal vacations.
Right.
So why not allow me to, even if it's not the entire time, I think you still have to, record the time that you're out being leisure.
Yeah.
But if I'm spending 3-4 hours of my day before we start going to the theme park or going to the beach, why should the company basically get that time for free out of me? Because they're still benefiting, especially if I'm responding to those emails and going ahead and answering a question so that someone can proceed in their week at the office. I think there should be some type of tracking of it at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I think we all got to keep our eyes on it. Like, I don't know this has been the most impactful time in our lives, in my opinion, since 9/11, as far as workplace culture. So everything is allowed to be looked at differently now. And so what does, again, the future of work look like? It's interesting to me to think, hey, go to the beach, take your laptop. You're not being charged for vacation days, but make sure that you're on there doing some work from 6 till noon. And then from 1 to 5, you go outside and then you go to dinner, but that counts as a work. There might be something. I mean, there might be something there, I don't know. So, all right, let's start talking about the dangers of not taking your vacation, because again, in local government, at least where we work, there's this, it's not an incentive, is it? But there's an incentive to, save your vacation a little bit until you start hitting this maximum number where you're capped. That way, when you retire or leave or whatever. So there's some people that just don't take vacation. So why would I'm sorry, that's the wrong question. Here it is. What are some of the dangers of employees not using their vacation days? Talk to us through that. I don't ever go on. I'll take the 2 days and the holidays, but I'm not doing anything. Dangers?
Definitely. It's probably not good for your health. We can just start there.
Yeah.
You have to just be burned out. When I first started here at the personnel board, I didn't take any vacation time for a couple of years just because of the state of what we were going through at the time under being a federal consent decree.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was encouraged not to take that time to do exactly what you said, to build that time up. But I'll tell you, it's not good for you. You're tired, you're burned out, you are so far in the weeds that you can't even see. So I think taking that time allows you to refresh and recharge your mind and come back with a good, fresh perspective that I think is a benefit to you and the organization.
Yeah. Michael, you buying into that?
I am. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's sort of finish up. And this has been a fun discussion for me. Let's go ahead and I did some research and put down some of my ideas and your ideas about reasons that we should encourage people to take their vacation days. I think back in the old days, again, this may even be the 80s and 90s, I never take vacation. I don't need to. I'm a hard worker, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What's that?
I said it was a badge of honor to say you came to work.
You're right. Yeah, it's a badge of honor. I don't need to do this. And I think mental health issues, where we're seeing this whole thing shift. So let's go over a couple of these, and then if you guys want to add your own, you can. Michael, I'll start with you on this one. Inspiration comes from outside the office or outside the job or outside your home office. Yes or no? And tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it really does. My greatest asset is my family. It's not really coming to work. I mean, work is important and doing what I do to provide for my family, but my inspiration is outside of here. I work to live. I work to be able to take care of them. I work so I can enjoy my family. I don't work so I can have my pension. I don't work so I can make a paycheck. I work so I can enjoy my family. Yeah. So that's the most important thing to me. And taking a vacation allows me to spend time with them and invest in them.
Yeah, this one hits home with me too, because when I travel places, like I'll see how other organizations do it. I'll see a sign. I'll see a way that a parking lot is set up. I'll see decor stuff. And all of a sudden you're like, well, I wonder how much of any of that could make its way, back in. So yeah, you're right. There's inspiration from family time, from decompressing, from seeing other places. That can all help. Now, Isla, you're a manager as well. So there's a benefit that as a manager, you'll see how your department runs without you. Is that a good thing?
I think that's a great thing. Yeah. I don't think that a manager should be so far into the day-to-day that their department can't run without them. You're failing as a manager if you can't be out and things still go and are accomplished during the week that you're out or however long that you're out. Yeah. I think that's a good way to grow your employees, show that you trust your employees, inspire your employees to want to do more, and show their talent while you're out. So I definitely think it shouldn't just be, I want to see, you should be encouraging that every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, when you come back, if the ball got dropped or if things didn't get done or whatever, okay, maybe, am I not training the right people? Am I not communicating correctly? Am I not sharing the right stuff? So yeah, it's good because they get to grow, they get to be delegated tasks, and you get to see, how much your team may or may not need you on certain things.
It can show some learning gaps that you have there that
good.
You use to transfer, to future training opportunities.
Yep. Michael, Isla talked about health. Touch on this as well. Taking a vacation, assist your health. Why?
It's mental, physical, emotional. It covers all health areas. Mentally, you've got to let go. Emotionally, the people, the job itself, all the tasks that you've got to do, you've got to let go of the stress. The stress is going to cause physical issues. The things that happen at work there are so many people that we know that have retired in every way. They retire and then they're just done. And I think that taking vacations could, not that they will, but could have extended time. When you retire, you want to live. You want to be able to go and do the things that you weren't able to do because you were working every day. And so taking those vacations now is going to, first of all, allow you to live while you work, but it's going to extend that time because you're releasing that stress. You're taking care of your health. You're extending your life. So the health benefits of taking vacation, we can't even put a time frame on that, but it's so very, very important.
Hey, something else I just thought of. I know that there's some days, and I think we're a good team. I think we all work together. I know there's some days when I'm not in the office that some of you may be like, "Whoo, a day without Pete. This is good." So there could be health, there could be health benefits of other people are enjoying you being gone for a while. Now that probably doesn't happen on our team, but I'm just saying it might be interesting. Kim's out there watching us. Kim says again, a great option is that the organizations need to be open and flexible to this whole idea of this Bleisure and this sort of workcation kind of thing. So thank you, Kim, for commenting on that. Michael, I'm coming to you because you're the brain guy here. Joy and happiness come from turning off your brain. So listen, I'm not going to check email. I'm not going to answer the phone for 3 straight days. I'm going to binge watch The Office. I'm going to binge watch whatever on TV. That's good for us.
It is good. Just changing. I claim that our brains never turn off, but changing the channel on our brain is going to be a good thing. Changing the channel from always being stimulated from a work standpoint to something that brings you joy, happiness, is going to make your life so much better. You don't have to be stimulated by the numbers in our world, by training or performance management, or by, I've got to do this, I've got to meet this goal, I've got to do this. And you change it to, how many shells can I pick up today at the beach? How many waves are going to go in? What time is the tide rolling in and what time is the tide going out?
You're talking Isla's world right now.
Mindset. So
yeah, sitting there and staring at something.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, Isla, this is supposed to be a benefit, but this may cause a stressor. So how do we frame it where I don't want to be, I want to be indispensable. I want people to say, man, we need Pete here, we need Isla here, or it won't work. So then I'm checking on my work, but then again, I also want to run an organization or work somewhere where it says, I know it's going to be there. This is not a priority. So is it a good thing to just know that the place isn't going to crash and burn without you?
I think so. And I've learned that over the past year, that I don't care how hard you work, there's always going to be the next thing. You're never going to get to a place where you're just sitting here not doing anything. So why put that pressure on yourself that, oh my God, if I don't come to work or I take off a week, that I'm going to have, this anxiety of things didn't function while I was gone. Well, guess what? It goes back to that old adage of, if I was to die today, what would happen?
Yeah.
The work still going to be here.
Yes.
And the organization is going to figure out a way to move forward.
Yeah.
So you need to take that time for yourself. I hate to bring death into it, but
no, you're right.
That the work will always be here. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And Michael brought up performance appraisals, and one of the things that that you sent that I read earlier was about people who actually take their vacations get better performance appraisals.
Look at that. Look what you said it. I click it up.
And I found that very interesting. And I can see why, because your mental state is better. You're probably just a kinder coworker.
Yeah.
You're not burned out and tired all the time and miserable and just that person.
Yeah, and again, I love when stats back up stuff. So the fact that people who took more vacation got higher performance appraisals, let's go. I need a month off. I need to let's go. Here's one that, again, this is one that I sort of believe in. Again, I've had the blessing to be able to travel recently. I went to Philadelphia, and a lot of stores are still shut down there. I went to Atlantic City for a business trip, and a lot of the boardwalk things are still closed. And I think from a humanistic, American, love of other, servant leader point of view, whatever it is, I think tourism is a big draw in a lot of cities. And so we need to, from a safe perspective, when you feel comfortable, there's value add to the entire country, supply chain, other people's lives. We're trying to to go take your vacation so that you can pay their restaurant at their beach condo so that they can live. Michael, are you tracking with that, either of you?
Absolutely. It almost everywhere you go, it says support local business. And in the tourism thing, if you have an opportunity to go somewhere else, you go into a new city, change the tourism piece. And I'm saying go see the sites, go see the things that tourists go see, but take a break and find the local things, support the local people, because we need that more than ever. If you get to go out, support the local people in that town. You're going to see a whole different view of that city when you find local people there, and you'll have different conversations, and you'll be appreciated rather than here comes another tourist. You build a relationship, and it'll probably make you want to come back to that city, or you'll walk away with a different experience.
Sure. Can I go a step further with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody's talking about how high gas prices are right now.
Yeah.
For a staycation, there's so many things just here in the city of Birmingham that I've never done that I can experience, and still recycle my dollar in my true local community.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time we've spent a full day at the Birmingham Zoo or Sloss Furnace or the Civil Rights Institute, or, all the beautiful places we have. In fact, here's a funny story to kind of align with that. When I was in Atlantic City, I didn't realize was 1 hour away from Philadelphia. And so I was talking to people in Atlantic City, and I'm like, man, it's so cool having Philadelphia so close. You can be there in an hour. And people who lived there, 2 people came to me, we were talking, and said, I haven't been to Philadelphia in years. I've been probably 10, 12 years. I'm like, oh my word, it's just an hour away. So people probably say the same thing about us when we're like, I've never been to the Civil Rights Center. I've never been to the zoo. Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
You take for granted the things that are in your backyard.
Yep. So. Absolutely. Well, listen, this has been great. We ran through the health benefits. We gave you some statistics. Let's close out with our traditional final thoughts. Michael, what are your final thoughts about the importance of vacation?
I'm leaving, man. I'm going to take a vacation, Pete. No, I think that vacations are extremely important. If you've got the time, take the time. I say have a little bit of time just in case something comes up. I wouldn't say burn all your vacation, but definitely take time for yourself. Take a few long weekends. If you don't like taking a week at a time, try it out. Take vacations for a spin, enjoy it, but really invest your time into your family and your most important asset. Invest in yourself. Take time off.
Yeah, it's going to make you a better employee. Isla, final thoughts.
I totally agree with Michael. Just vacations are important, not only for your mental health, but for your physical health. And if we've learned nothing over the past 2, almost 3 years, is that we can't take any time for granted. So use it while you have it and don't wait.
Yeah, great point. My big takeaway will be not to be so egocentric to say, I can't take a vacation. The place can't survive without me. I'm needed. I think we all need to realize it's moving, it's happening, stuff is going to happen. So if you're a good manager and leader, that shouldn't even cross your mind. The place should be able to survive without you. So again, growth and development opportunities for others is a good thing as well. This has been great, y'all. I really appreciate you doing this. I hope those of you who watched either recorded or live got some good tips out of this. And the 3 of us encourage you all to take a vacation. And if you're watching this in the next month or 2, maybe a trip to Birmingham, July 7th through 17th for
the World Games.
The World Games, and come watch sumo wrestling and water canoe polo and softball and all
flag
kinds
football.
and flag football from across. Look it up. Worldgames.com, I think is what, or Birmingham World Games. Come see us in Birmingham. So y'all, it's been a great talk today. We appreciate you. Thanks, Isla. Thanks, Michael.
Sure.
See y'all next time. Bye-bye.